Now at 10, a road widening project in Joplin means road closures are coming too. We'll tell you what to expect. Plus, Pittsburgh's fire chief shares some tips to make sure your Thanksgiving does not include an appearance from first responders. And a verdict in the killing of Ahmaud Arbery.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Some overnight rain will give way to a chilly Thanksgiving. This is KOAM News at 10. Let's check in with Doug Heddy for a first look at the weather.
Well, it's definitely a little bit on the wet side outside as we have showers, even a few random little thunder showers rolling through, which you can see on our 7th and range line tower cam. Roads are wet, so if you are going to be out tonight, be careful. Of course, the roads can be a little bit slick. Another warm day, 67. We started at 53, but big changes moving in. A cold front is rolling through, and that's what's causing all this rain. You can see it really flaring up northeastern Oklahoma into southwestern parts of Missouri. These are light to moderate showers. There's a few heavier embedded showers and a few random little thunder showers in here, but these are going to stick around for the next few hours, and then we'll start to clear out late tonight as the rain will start to roll out of here. Unfortunately, behind it, our temperatures are really going to take a dip, and that's going to affect our weather, of course, during the day on Thanksgiving. We're going to look at that and down the road here in just a bit.
Catch it in. Thanks, Doug. Drivers in southwest Joplin are about to see some major road work over the next couple of years. The plan is to expand 32nd Street to 3 lanes with extra space to take it to 5 lanes eventually as the area continues to grow. Starting December 1st, crews will begin clearing trees along 32nd Street in preparation for heavier work set to begin later in December.
You know, if you've driven out there, it's a roller coaster. And so there's a lot of dirt being moved, you know, cutting the high hills off and filling in the low valleys.
The first road closure from Schifferdecker to Westbury Lane is expected toward the end of the month. The roundabout at Highway 171, 96 and Route YY near Carl Junction is now open for traffic, mostly anyway. Jasper County Route YY is open only in the eastbound direction for now. MoDOT says they'll open it fully at a later date. Drivers could still encounter other periodic lane closures as crews wrap up minor work and cleanup. In Joplin, Jung Boulevard between Central City and Black Cat Road is closed, and it is because of this. Giant sinkhole opened on the road. Drivers started noticing a dip in the road, and when crews came to check it out, they found a mine shaft had opened underneath. Crews do not expect the sinkhole to grow. Officials expect it to be filled and patched shortly after the holiday. A jury in Brunswick, Georgia found all 3 defendants guilty of murder and other charges in the death of 25-year-old Ahmaud Arbery, the black man who was jogging through their neighborhood. The men chased him in their pickup trucks and shot him. Natalie Brand has the latest from the courthouse.
Count 1, malice murder. We, the jury, find the defendant, Travis McMichael, guilty.
The jury deliberated more than 11 hours before convicting Travis McMichael on all counts, including malice murder. His father, Greg, and their neighbor convicted on felony murder in the killing of Ahmaud Arbery. Inside the courtroom, Arbery's mother appeared in silent prayer. Outside, she thanked the family's supporters.
I never thought this day would come, but God is good.
The killing in February of last year garnered national attention and prompted Georgia officials to repeal the state's citizen's arrest law. The defense had claimed the defendants were trying to make a citizen's arrest, believing Arbery had committed a crime, but there was no evidence to support that. The prosecutor argued their actions were based on assumptions.
The verdict today was a verdict based on the facts, based on the evidence, and that was our goal, was to bring that to that jury so that they could do the right thing.
This is the scene outside the Glynn County Courthouse shortly after the verdict was read. Demonstrators who have been here since the start of the trial have called for justice for Ahmaud Arbery.
I've been here 30 years. And to get this outcome right now, it's a blessing.
The defense team said they're disappointed and plan to appeal, but right now are respecting the verdict.
These are 2 men who honestly believed that what they were doing was the right thing to do.
We felt from day one that the video showed that Travis McMichael acted in self-defense. Maybe we had our own little tunnel vision going.
The three defendants all face life in prison. Natalie Brandt, CBS News, Brunswick, Georgia.
Superior Court Judge Timothy Walmsley did not immediately schedule a sentencing date, saying he wants to give both sides time to prepare. The U.S. Supreme Court will hear a case about North Carolina's fight about voter identification. The law was passed in 2018 after Republicans lost their supermajority in the legislature, but before the new legislature took over. A court panel blocked the law, ruling that requiring a photo ID to vote discriminates against voters of color. The state's Court of Appeals upheld the ruling, permanently blocking the ID requirement. However, members of the Republican-led North Carolina state legislature are now appealing to the U.S. Supreme Court, saying the intent of the bill was election security, not discrimination. State Republicans also claim the state's Democratic Attorney General is not adequately representing their interests. In another sign the nation is bouncing back from the pandemic, the number of Americans filing for unemployment benefits dropped again last week. The Labor Department reporting the number of claims fell to 199,000 from 270,000 the prior week. This is the lowest level in more than half a century. Last time it was this low was mid-November of 1969, when there were 197,000 applicants. Figures are also much lower than the February 2020 pre-pandemic average of nearly 212,000 claims. Economists believe the drop could be evidence employers are curbing layoffs in the midst of a labor shortage. Holiday hiring is also likely contributing to the employment bump. Public health experts predict an uptick in the rate of COVID-19 deaths and hospitalizations over the next 4 weeks. The U.S. Centers for Disease Control and Prevention today published its new ensemble forecasts. According to Johns Hopkins University, the current COVID-related death toll in the U.S. is more than 773,000. The CDC forecast suggests that by December 18th, the new death toll could be between 794,000 and 822,000. The agency also predicts hospitals are likely to admit more than 12,000 new COVID patients in the next 4 weeks. The weekly forecasts review data from several sources across the nation. Still ahead, Pittsburgh's fire chief talks about how time plays a role in preventing holiday disasters. And Black Friday spending is expected to hit record highs. We'll look at the numbers. A lot of folks might already be cooking for tomorrow's Thanksgiving dinner, and the Pittsburgh Fire Department and others want to make sure people know what to do in case of an emergency. Fire Chief Dennis Riley says the department usually sees emergencies around Thanksgiving. Kitchen fires, for example. They often have to do with attempting to fry a turkey, and he says it's important to call 911 as soon as you see a fire.
We have seen fires in the past where notification has been delayed. Homeowners try to take action on their own. They get into a situation where there's too much for them to handle, and then they call the fire department, and fire grows exponentially.
Of course, as always, firefighters are on duty constantly, even during the holidays. Close to 100 people could have some happy tummies on Thanksgiving thanks to a Jane, Missouri restaurant. Green's Bar and Grill will host a free meal for folks in need. They're going to serve turkey, ham, mashed potatoes, egg salad, and a lot more.
We originally started out with just 25 people that we were going to try to serve, and then we had a lot of feedback from the community that they thought it was awesome and they were interested in coming. Some people wanted to make reservations and do different things, so we got some more turkeys and hams, and we decided to up it to 100 people.
Yeah, that's right. It's a fairly new place, but Green says it can feed up to 100 people tomorrow. You can find more community meals happening tomorrow in our area on our website. Of course, that's KOAMnewsnow.com. The post-Thanksgiving holiday shopping spree is already underway, pre-Thanksgiving, if you will, with more people starting their shopping early this year. And the National Retail Federation, Amazon, and other experts all predict a record-breaking holiday shopping season. Reporter Jen Sullivan has a closer look.
A bigger and earlier Black Friday shopping frenzy. According to the National Retail Federation, nearly 2 million more people than last year will shop from Thanksgiving Day through Cyber Monday.
We almost think of Thanksgiving now as the halfway point rather than the kickoff.
A survey from the NRF finds many shoppers started holiday shopping early, citing concerns about supply chain issues, inventory, and high demand.
Almost half of shoppers started browsing and buying before November this year. For reference, that's up from 42% last year.
And shoppers are expected to spend a record amount. The NRF says consumers may spend an average of about $1,000 this holiday season. One of the largest online retailers, Amazon, is also expecting big numbers.
Black Friday and Cyber Monday have always been big days for Amazon, so we think this year is going to be even bigger.
Experts say higher consumer confidence means more people will be likely hitting the stores in person. On Black Friday, the NRF survey found 64% are likely to shop in stores. That's up from 51% last year when COVID-19 worries kept many people at home.
People like going to stores when they're buying gifts. They like to touch and feel product, see it.
And for many people hitting the mall this weekend, experts say the day after Thanksgiving could be more like Bleak Friday, with some products hard to find and prices rising. The best tip, if you see what you want,
buy it now.
Buy it. Definitely buy it now.
For today's Consumer Watch, I'm Jen Sullivan.
Before you head out to do your holiday shopping, check the store hours. Several retailers announced changes to their holiday schedule. On Monday, Target announced it's going to close all of its stores tomorrow, for example. Also, they're going to be closed for every Thanksgiving from now on for Target. Spirits may be in short supply in stores. Liquor suppliers are warning your favorite holiday time alcoholic beverages might be kind of hard to track down this year. The Distilled Spirits Council says the spirits industry has been hit with shortages of glass for bottle making, availability of pallets and containers, and fewer drivers supplying stores. Among the low inventory, tequila, cognac, and champagne. Industry insiders advise people to buy now and shop local if supplies are low. Later, we're going to hear from the Lamar Tigers as they prepare to make yet another appearance in the state semifinals.
Plus, the rain continues for the next several hours, and then the cold works in. We're going to look at that coming up. Well, it's turned out to be kind of a nasty evening out there with the showers, even a few little rumbles of thunder as the rain continues to work through. So if you are out and about tonight, be careful on the roadways just because they are wet, which you can see on our Indigo Sky Casino and Resort. This is our tower cam just outside of Seneca, Missouri, but definitely on the wet side, and that's what we're going to see as we go through the overnight hours tonight. Plus the temperatures, they're still fairly mild ahead of the front. We're in the upper 50s, and then once you get behind the front and start traveling some distance, you drop into the 40s. Everybody's going to drop into the 40s, eventually the 30s a little bit later on tonight. Very windy day for us today. We have the strong southerly winds. The winds are picking up behind the front, but you can see this colder air sinking south, and that's what we are going to see as we go through the next couple days. We had winds at times gusting 40 to 45 miles per hour earlier today. Here's the front, Stockton Lake to about Carthage, through Joplin, Miami, then stretching back toward Tulsa. But look at the northerly winds picking up behind it. So even though the winds have diminished a bit, they're going to swing around out of the other direction and really pick up once again later on tonight. Roads are wet. 7th and Rangeline currently outside sitting at 59. We have the rain, humidity high, of course, at 93%. And we have these periods of showers just continuing to roll through. Heaviest is right along the I-44 corridor. So where you see the yellows and a little bit of orange popping up, that is moderate to some heavy rain across the region, starting to taper off a little bit on the Kansas side, but right through the metro, pretty good rains from Pittsburg to Carl Junction, Webb City, Carthage, Joplin, over toward Neosho. Pretty good batch, northeastern parts of Oklahoma, right through Miami, and then stretching southwestward toward Veneta. And these will continue, but continue to push off toward the east as we go through the rest of the overnight hours for us tonight as this whole storm system is wrapping up and will slowly head away. So the rain sticks around. Next couple hours, here in about an hour, the heaviest along and south of I-44. After about 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, it's gone. We're still going to have a lot of clouds sticking around into the morning hours, but we're going to drop into the 30s. As we go through the day, We get plenty of sunshine by the afternoon, but our temperatures, they just really don't go anywhere for us tomorrow. Most of us hanging out into the lower 40s. Then we drop into the mid-20s tomorrow night. So a very cold night, but the winds switch around to the south by Friday, and this will start to help our temperatures warm back up Friday, Saturday into Sunday. Additional rainfall, most of this is going to be along and south of I-44, but another quarter, maybe even a half an inch possible as these bands continue to work through. All right, here's your day planner tomorrow. If you're getting up early, there is the turkey trot in Joplin. I will not be there, so I won't be able to say hi, but 34 at 6, only 37 by 9. So it's going to be cloudy and cold, but at least it's going to be dry. 39 by noon, and then with sunshine, a high temp of only 43. But we'll go to 53 Friday, 61 on Saturday. So most of the holiday weekend looks pretty good.
You think the turkey trot is a way to kind of pre-burn some calories to make way for an extra slice of pumpkin pie?
My wife is doing it. I think she's nuts. So.
She might be listening. Thanks, Doug. Missouri's November deer hunting season is over now, and hunters took more this year than last. The Missouri Department of Conservation says hunters killed just under 188,000 deer in the state this month. In 2020, it was fewer than 178,000. The top 3 counties for deer hunting in Missouri, Franklin and Texas County each had more than 4,000 deer taken, and Howell County had more than 3,200. Coming up in sports, we're going to hear from the Lamar Tigers as they prepare for Saturday's state semifinal game against Richmond. And the Pitt State women hit the floor for a big non-conference game against Lindenwood. Jacob Leonard has highlights and post-game reaction up next.
The Pitt State women's basketball team is 2-1 in their first 3 games. The last time out, Pitt State topped St. Mary 99-57 in non-conference play last Thursday. Tonight, Gorillas back on the floor facing former MIAA rival Lindenwood in a non-conference game. Early on, great take and finish for Sydney Crane. Gorillas, though, down 3 after 1. The second quarter was better for PSU. Aliyah Myers, nice look to Sydney Holmes for 2. Then right before half, Aaron Davis, the senior, leads with 8 at the break. Pitt State up 7 going to the second half. Everything going at the rim for PSU early in the second half. Step through for Jamie Jackson. She scores 10. When the defense sinks in, Tristan Gegg steps out, knocks down the 3. Gegg really good in the second half, scores 16 over team high 22 in the final 20 minutes. Sydney Crane, though, did a little bit of everything, man. 11 points, 7 boards, 6 assists, and 5 steals. Gorillas outscored Lindenwood 24-13 in the fourth. Pitt State wins it tonight 74-56.
We just want to keep putting it on them. We were told they opened their feet really bad before the game started, so she said you got to get them down, got to get downhill and get to the free throw line. So that's really what we emphasized going into the second half.
We wanted to get to the free throw line. We wanted to get high percentage shots, and we thought we could get there. We thought that's what we'd seen on film, and that's the style we play. So I thought that the girls really kept that mentality as the game went on.
The Pittsburg State men's basketball team is back in action tonight on the road against Henderson State. The Gorillas are off to a bit of a slow start this season, dropping 4 straight to begin their schedule. And this one today against Henderson State, Gorillas fall in a tight one, 59-57. Ryan Pippin scores a team-high 21 for PSU. The Gorillas are back in action at home on Saturday, hosting Baker. The Lamar Tigers are just 3 days away from playing in the state semifinals. Lamar hosts Richmond on Saturday afternoon with a spot in the Class II state title game on the line. Richmond is 11-1 heading into this one, while the Tigers still undefeated, sitting at 12-0 this season. Now, practicing on Thanksgiving week has kind of become normal for Lamar. They've been in the semifinals in all but 1 season since 2009. Head coach Jared Beshore says when it comes down to November football and winning in the playoffs, attention to the small details is what makes all the difference.
Detail-oriented people usually get good results. When you focus on the small things, that's the difference between a 5-yard gain and a touchdown a lot of times. So when we focus on that in practice, That's sometimes the difference between a win and a loss. Football's a game of inches. Our guys understand that. They've bought into that. They've been coached like that for a long time. I was coached like that, so it's really easy for them to buy into it and understand why it works and how it works.
That's a look at sports. We're back with more news right after the break.
Take time now to honor a local veteran. Private Troy Sullivan served in the U.S. Army. His hometown, Pittsburg, and we are proud to salute Private Troy Sullivan. He's tonight's four-state hero. All right, here's some Thanksgiving trivia for you. Maybe you've noticed, maybe not, but you might wonder why Ocean Spray cranberry sauce labels are upside down. Well, here's the story. The company says it puts the label on that way intentionally so grocers and you store the cans with the side you open facing down. The reason is pretty simple, actually. Ocean Spray says it causes the contents to settle and an air bubble to form at the top, which is the bottom. That way, when you open it on the bottom of the label, you can slide a knife along the edge of the can on the inside to break the vacuum. Then that cranberry sauce will slide out perfectly intact to plop onto your serving dish in a single piece. And to some of you, that might actually seem appetizing. Gelatinous plop of cold food on the plate.
I'm confused. I need to read that story again and figure out exactly.
Okay, so the can, I'm going to explain this to you quickly. The can, you open it on the side, but the side that you open goes down, and then the label is upright.
Yeah, I don't eat that stuff.
I don't either.
All right.
Some people do, apparently.
I know.
Okay.
Rain sticking around the next few hours and then cold tomorrow. It's also going to be windy, a high of only 43 at best.
Okay, final sports notes.
Oh, we told you Lamar plays in the state semifinals on Saturday. Webb City also in the state semifinals on Saturday. We'll hear from them right here tomorrow night.
Very good. Thanks for joining us. Let's make it a great Thanksgiving.